You know what? It's just time to get back to it. It's time to get back to straight sugar fasting. Getting a little bit more serious. Been tinkering around with it the last couple of days. Eating dirty, if you will. So this is day 18 recap. Seen in the previous video, intended to sugar fast for the entire day yesterday, but I got a call early in the morning, unexpectedly, to go to breakfast. And since it's been a while, I went to breakfast and I enjoyed breakfast. So ate a full breakfast. Then I just decided I was gonna try to sugar fast or even just regular fast for the rest of the day. It was a workout day yesterday, so I went through the workout, fasted, and then I did end up eating the post-recovery meal of the Frosted Flakes, rice, and the Cocoa Pebbles, but I did not use any other protein on it. I just kind of drizzled some water and went with it like that, which wasn't bad. It was totally fine. And then I think later on in the night, I just had a few, maybe a handful of dried apricots. So I tried to keep the intake relatively low just because I knew that I had done a couple of days of kind of dirty eating on this protocol, right? So kind of normal for anyone else, or just kind of normal living, which was fine though. I mean, it's just kind of the things that you want, that we're trying to do here. Experiment with yourself, see how this tool, how we can use this tool of sugar fasting and sugar diet. So, but anyway, today is, we're gonna get back to being strict. So today is a complete sugar fasting day. That's the plan, but no, I'll try to stick to that. So we had some juice already this morning with some sugar. Drinking a couple of cups of coffee here this morning. We'll hop on the treadmill here soon, and then I've got some yard work I got to get out and do. So try to keep myself pretty occupied with being active and out in the sun and all that kind of stuff. And then I think we got some dirt track races later on tonight, providing the weather holds, which it seems like it will as of now. So scale today though, completely even from the day before. And again, the day before I went up a couple pounds, which was to be expected and totally fine. I expected it to go up again yesterday or this morning, but it didn't. So that's good. But I'm not, completely discouraged with the whole thing. I've made some pretty good progress throughout the year, even before I started sugar fasting and sugar diet. So, it just takes being locked in and kind of that discipline to do it. And I've gotten a little loose over the last couple of days and let myself kind of toy with it. What I have noticed though, just going back through my log and my history of what I've been doing, before, when I first started this, I was kind of heavy eating gummy bears and kind of the candy and doing a grazing kind of style. And I thought that maybe that wasn't the right approach, and I've heard other people talk about try to do those meals, try to do, almost like the 3 meals or 4 meals a day, the breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but having those in the kind of the sugar aspect of the sugar fasting, main fruit and all that kind of stuff. However, it seems like, just again, going back through the log, and this is why it's important to kind of keep track and keep a log of what you're doing, what you're either intaking, not from a calorie counting perspective, but just to know what you're doing as far as intake, and then recording kind of weight and your feelings, and then being able to go back and look at that and figure out what was I doing that day, what did I take in, what was my activity, and then figure out what my body was doing. And so, again, that's another important point about keeping a log, not just from the food perspective, but just overall. So I keep a daily journal, and this is where I log most of the things that I'm doing, my intake and my weight and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, getting back to my point, looking back through when I was going through, when I first started this and that kind of style I was eating with kind of a grazing approach versus when I started shifting to the main meals, I actually found that I was losing more weight doing the grazing style. So I may get back to that. I may try to get back to maybe that style and maybe start putting in the smaller meals throughout in the between times, right? Breakfast, a snack, lunch, a snack, dinner, that kind of style versus just breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and having these big portions of sugar and fruit and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, that's just me. Everyone's going to be different, but that's why I encourage you to capture and log the things that you're taking in, how you feel, hydration, recording weight, recording, body fit and kind of how your body is comping. So I'm almost kind of resetting the reset. I'm going to go back today. We're going to do strict sugar fasting and keep that going for a couple of days. And I think by using that grazing style, it'll be a lot easier for me to do that. And I guess, I don't know. I guess that's it. I'm senior. These are my moments. This is what we're doing here. So, drop a like, hit subscribe, drop me some comments. The comments have starting to pick up a little bit. People asking about how much weight I've been losing, things like that. And again, I don't think I've even shown the scale or even shown overall weight, but just so I can put it out there. Right now I'm down about 4 pounds. I think at the most I was down about 7, and we're on day 18. So in the grand scheme of things, for everyone else who's having great results, a pound a day, and it started out that way. Again, it started out that way, and I was doing a different kind of style of eating and keeping that sugar in my system, doing a different kind of style, and I was dropping weight pretty fast, almost a pound a day. And then I started experimenting and tinkering, and that's when it kind of did this stall, and was maybe my body was trying to adjust to it, and I was going through eating a different way. So I'm going to try to go back to that original way and see if I can kickstart that whole thing again. So right now, like I said, about 4 pounds down overall. The max was 7, and either way, even if it was only down 1, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with how we're progressing through this. I'm not thinking I was going to lose 30 pounds in a month type of thing, but we're just here. We're just doing it. So anyway, thanks a lot for being here. I will update again tomorrow. And until then, I'll see you.